Kejap ya Syiffa, Data kena set sikit.
Okey, boleh je. Assalamualaikum
Nampak dia
semua.
berbayang pula. Tak apalah. Dia punya
Okey
light.
ke? Oh,
Data tak
lighting.
tempat lain sikit. So,
Ah.
ada. Jadi kena adjust sikit lampu-lampunya tu lah kan.
Itu.
Ya.
Kita pun
Okay.
masih tunggu ni. Apa ni? Masih ramai yang baru masuk.
Kau masuk okay. Buku ni Dr. Han hari tu apa tu? Masa dekat BBAKL tu. Agaknya kalau tu macam alamak tak beli buku ni. Jadi dia belum. Tapi maknanya kalau Iman yang dah beli, dah baca, so Dr. Han mungkin apa tu? Depends pada soalan-soalan Iman, soalan-soalan Syiffa tu lah ya. Jadi ada peluang Dr. Han. Buku ni bila Syiffa? Okay ke connection?
Breaking lah Dr. How.
Breaking
okay.
ya?
Sekarang okey.
Sekarang
okey.
Kat tengok tu okey dah. Tu 4G tu. Semua full bar lah. Syiffa beli buku ni bila? Buku this show up ni.
Saya beli bila?
Lama dah?
Saya beli 2 tahun lepas waktu pandemik macam tu.
Oh okey. Sebab dia memang keluar 2021 macam kan?
Ya,
Kindle.
saya beli Kindle lah tapi waktu beli tu okey. Oh lupa cakap salam dulu. Assalamualaikum semua.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. Pillow talk kita hari ni, kita akan jadi pillow and book talk. Dan topiknya adalah show up by Naima Robert. Tapi kalau tak baca buku pun tak apa. Kita macam nak kupaskan lah input-input berdasarkan buku ni. Okay. Saya ada buku ni dalam Kindle saya tahun 2 tahun sudah kot waktu pandemik. Tapi waktu tu skimming je, baca macam baca. Macam sekali imbas lah kan. Sebab buku ni pendek je, dia macam 100 lebih muka surat lah kalau berdasarkan Kindle ni. Very short and bagi saya macam senang nak baca. Dia punya term-term dia pun easy to understand. There's no macam benda yang bombastic untuk kita check kamus or anything kan. So bila anak Dr. Ha kan, Kak Syiffa Hana suggest tapi Kak Syiffa Hana suggest topik ni tahun lepas. Dia kata mungkin boleh buat something yang berdasarkan buku, boleh share berdasarkan show up ni. So sebabkan tahun lepas kita dah design topik-topik untuk pillow talk tu dengan topik-topik yang lain yang sebelum-sebelum kita buat. I have decided to macam why not tahun ni kita kupas buku ni sebab most of our pillow talk actually related sebenarnya dengan buku ni. Yes. So this show up ni bila 2 tahun lepas saya baca, saya macam biasalah baca kan. Tapi seminggu yang sudah saya baca, saya cakap lah dekat Kak Syiffa Hana. Saya menangis lah bila saya baca buku ni and the introduction made me cry and I don't know what happened to me. Maybe I'm being hormonal or emotional, I don't know. Tapi dia macam sayu bila baca. Especially dia punya introduction bila Sister Naima Robert ni, dia introduction ni dia ceritakan macam mana moment dia dapat tahu dia kehilangan husband dia meninggal. Anak dia bagi tahu husband dia meninggal semua kan. So I don't know, maybe sebenarnya setahun atau 2 tahun sebenarnya pun mungkin boleh mematangkan emosi kita, mematangkan pemikiran kita kan about something. And I think that happened to me lah when I reread this book again for this pillow talk. Okay.
InsyaAllah. dia kan sebenarnya kalau tengok kan, cakap pasal buku ni dulu secara umum kan. Buku ni tak kira lah dia dari sudut naskah hard copy ke atau Kindle ke, but selalunya penceritaan sangat penting ya untuk make sense. Benda yang kalau Dr. Hal katalah textbook kita tu kan, dia macam matter of fact gitu kan. Dia boleh cerita tu padahal benda sama, tapi dari sudut persembahan itu. Dan tak silap Dr. Hal, kalau Dr. Hal pergi Iman shop, Iman punya booth PBA KL kali ni, dia orang kata tahun ni adalah tahun novel. Semua orang cek novel. Macam tu lah. Kan? So agaknya orang macam bila terlalu cepat dia punya life pace ni pun agaknya nak curl and read a book yang bercerita sama ada fantasy ke fiction atau non-fiction, but bring them to another kata interface tu supaya daripada dia ni. Kalau kita baca cerita tu mungkin cerita yang memberikan sedikit memberikan pengajaran ya. Jadi dan sekarang ni pula agaknya kalau nak buat movie ke apa, dia akan buat adaptasi daripada buku-buku. Atau dia akan cakap jugalah based on true story macam tu. Doktor kalau nak pilih movie nak tengok tu, kalau dia based on true story tu, I think I lebih rasa macam
Dekat.
kan. In fact, sifat tak tahu lah. Doktor sebenarnya over the weekend ni sibuk sikit tu sebab my putera macam Dinner we all buat 2018. Masa tu we all celebrate our 50th anniversary. Lepas sekolah punya 50th anniversary. Lepas apa semua suka orang boleh buat lagi satu dinner kan. So dia walaupun I rasa macam tak apalah, ni bukan the first dinner organisation, tapi biasalah kan dia kena, bila dah kena jadi mak pengantin jugalah kiranya kan. Jadi memang so I actually drain sangat petang tadi. Sebenarnya I kata okey lah, sebelum maghrib tadi just tengok show movie kat dalam Astro tu, showcase tu tunjuk Despicable Me tu tau. Yelah dengan Minion apa semua tu, tapi the message is very clear that you know kiranya hati orang jahat macam mana pun, being human ni, bila ada human connection, and it was in the form of three orphan girls kan yang came into Bruce's life tu, and then dia terpaksa pergi recital, dia terpaksa kiss them good night semua tu. So it actually melembutkan hati manusia. So message dia sangat clear, maknanya no matter how jahat you are, and then it's always that rejection masa dia kecil kan, dia buat macam-macam, dan mak dia macam kan, duk pelekehkan saja. So nampak kat situ, itu yang build him up to be so despicable and tetapi sebenarnya bila dia ada human connection, he actually send the girls back to the ni semua kan, then and of course dia, so penceritaan tu sebenarnya lebih mudah untuk menceritakan bahawa manusia. So I think what Naima punya buku ni, or in that matter any book pun yang cerita tentang real life dia, it's actually more relatable daripada cerita yang mungkin you reka-reka gitulah kan. Still kalau reka-reka pun message dia ada, tapi tak rasa lah personally benda yang memang kita experience sendiri, itu diceritakan, lebih lagi dia punya impact dia. Okay, itu intro je.
Dr. Ha, saya tak pasti internet saya atau internet Dr. Ha yang breaking.
So, tak break-break ya?
Yeah, I think Dr. Ha punya internet is breaking out a bit.
Okay. Macam ni, give me some time, I need to relocate to another place. Sebab lebih ni kot ya.
Alright.
Give me about 5 minutes macam tu. Boleh?
Okay, I'll stay here. No worries. Okay. There are still people joining our pillow talk aka book talk for this weekend. InsyaAllah we're going to macam kupaskan tentang buku Show Up by Naima Robert. So Naima Robert ni adalah international author, and this book is in English obviously, but if you guys macam tengah nak tengok kan buku ni, tak sure lah dekat mungkin Kinokuniya ada jual, I'm not sure kalau kat Malaysia, tapi if you have Kindle boleh dapatkan dalam bentuk ebook, and I think it's cheaper. And my opinion about this book sebelum kita kupaskan kan, buku ni sangat bagus dan the message is very straightforward, but kenalah dengan my heart I think, because dia tak ada, bahasanya tak adalah begitu berbunga-bunga, tapi dia juga tak begitu dry, you know, in a term it's very factual, so it's more human lah, this non-fiction book, because I'm someone that into fiction book. Saya suka baca novel, saya suka dapatkan input daripada fictional. I like poetries, so when it comes to non-fiction punya book, for me it's kind of bit dry. How about you guys? Boleh je tahu komen dekat sini. And this book, walaupun ditulis oleh perempuan, it's also I think message dia bagus je kalau untuk brothers, untuk lelaki baca, sebab it's very universal actually apa yang Naima Robert tulis dalam buku Show Up ni. And it's actually, kalau korang pernah baca buku, I don't think I have the book here, The Atomic Habit. So The Atomic Habit is more precise, it's more factual. Everything is macam lebih orang kata lebih mendalam, kupasan about being productive, about what you want to do with your life purpose and everything. But this book is macam dia touch surface, tapi surface yang important in our life actually. Okay? You guys, what's your opinion? Ada ke orang yang dah baca buku Show Up? I think there are few people yang macam comment and DM me saying that, oh, they're really looking forward for this pillow talk because they have read this one. Ada ke orang yang dah pernah baca? Write your comment, your opinion, and then nanti bila kita tengah buat pillow talk nanti dengan Dr. Ha pun boleh tahu nak share your thoughts, or if you have questions about the book or anything related to the topic. Dr. Ha dah join.
Okay tak? Better tak agaknya internet tu? I hope so lah. Ni tempat my usual spot lah. Boleh ya?
Usual spot.
Dia kena pergi kat usual spot juga. Ingat aku nak pergi tempat lain sikit. So, okay. Okay, mungkin kita boleh start dah dengan your questions. Bukan Dr. Ha memang belum baca lagi tau buku ni. So, macam...
So, okay, kalau macam tu Syiffa bagi brief lah kan pasal buku Show Up by Naima Robert ni. So, buku ni dia tentang, obviously the question is show up. I mean, the title is Show Up. So, maksudnya the kupasan ni adalah berkenaan showing up. And showing up in what? In our lives. So, dalam ni Naima Robert dia kata showing up is about to be present, mind and body, to take responsibility, to take ownership, to bring our true self to whatever roles we are called on, to play with our imperfection and vulnerability, and then it's to recommit to your life and purpose. Sebenarnya ni semua kita pernah kupas dalam kita punya pillow talk kan?
Memang. Memang.
Yes.
In fact, kalau dia punya tajuk Show Up tu, sebenarnya banyak dikeluarkan dalam buku yang Dr. Ha selalu refer bila kita bincang dalam, 1 year ni. tentang Brené Brown punya buku Daring Greatly tu. You know?
Betul? Betul?
So memang banyak lah that word showing up tu. Itu kan, but Daring Greatly ni is actually showing up, bukan lari. Lawan dia lari kan, ataupun kita sembunyikan diri kita, or and I think the other keyword in this is actually having the courage to do so. Dan dia sebenarnya dia bukannya benda yang and usually bila kita ada pilihan, kita nak show up ke kita nak run away from it. Showing up is more painful because you have to take all the punch, you know. And then tadilah responsibility, kadang kita punya kesilapan, kadang itu yang lagi kita rasa vulnerable sangat tu kan. Sometimes tu kita punya apa orang kata miscalculation, kita silap buat pilihan, you know, and to actually admit that pun bukannya senang. Atau kita hurting somebody ke, and then saying sorry to that pun, tapi kalau misalnya the easiest way is actually to run away. So kalau misalnya kita nak cakap, dah selalu cakap macam ni kan, Syiffa, kadang we describe things as how it is, tapi nak make it clearer, sometimes it's better to explain what it is not. Jadi kalau misalnya showing up tu is all that you have defined tadi, so most probably kenapa Naima kena tulis satu buku tentang showing up? Kenapa Brené Brown kena tulis buku tentang Daring Greatly? Because our by default and our natural flight and fight, it's not fight dulu, it's flight, you know. So you run away dulu kan, because that is more, that is actually easier, and then you can actually, and that is actually safer agaknya kan, in terms of energy ataupun you if you are looking into that in terms of, you know, the quantitative component of running away, agaknya it require less energy. And also most likely you feel safer, and when do you where do you run away? You actually go back to your comfort zone. Data baru ada this week, Data ada satu masterclass, Data baru start lah with maybe around 30 people. Tapi this is exclusive for housewife, sebab ni Data collab dengan Suri Rumah Rahmah. And then this masterclass memang kita tak ada lah nak buat ramai-ramai gitu kan. But I actually I'm going to have 10 session with them over 10 months. So kita tak ada nak buat macam cepat-cepat habiskan itu. Because we are not bounded by semesters and all. And then most probably 4 weeks apart tu is actually enough for you to macam, yelah macam tak imagine kan bila turun wahyu daripada Allah tu, para sahabat dia akan, you know, dia akan praktiskan dulu before the next wahyu gitulah kan. So, and this topic dia pula macam yang kita bincang ni, Syiffa, tapi Dr. Har put it in the flow, okay. So, we started off last month in May, lepas raya tu. So, we started off with self-awareness, you know, kesedaran kendiri, yang end up with penerimaan kendiri. We talk about this kan. Without kesedaran kendiri, kita tak akan dapat terima siapa diri kita ni. Yeah? And that is very important bila you are facing your life zones ni. So this is what I discuss hari Khamis baru ni, tentang zon kehidupan di mana kita, macam itulah, you know. So and selalunya because kita cakap pasal buku kan, Dr. Har yang ada dekat Dr. Har punya shelf ni, buku pasal self-growth, self-help, motivation, ya, macam show up semua ni. There's so many dah, you know. Kata je lah siapa kan, I love Stephen Covey's kan, dia punya buku anak dia pun, okay. So, and it's very enjoyable to read that, and you feel energetic gitu-gitu kan. Tapi I always wonder, kenapa yang tak boleh kat Namu ni, kan, ataupun tak boleh nak go to other level tu kan. And then I realise after I read about masa COVID itu, Dr. dapat satu yang macam, you know, diagram, ada bulatan-bulatan tu, the zones, and then dia kata where are you, and then dalam COVID tu dia tunjukkan our comfort zone yang prior to COVID tu dah burst dah, that is no more there. So you tak boleh nak, this is a point of no return lah, yang mana kalau habis pun this pandemic, dia kata we are not going to go back to where we were kan. So dia katakan bahawa this article was written based on that Tom Sinninger punya the zone, dia panggil itu learning zone, tapi you can also bagi kat situ as your life zone, you know? So coming back to the showing up ataupun running away ni, so bila kita face with something, if our comfort zone is still there, of course during this macam ni, Naima punya ni antaranya kan masa sudden loss of her husband and she has to look after anak-anak dia and then the business that the husband left behind. Dah baca dia punya perlut kan. So it's like being thrown out of your comfort zone. Apa comfort zone dia? Comfort zone dia husband dia yang so able and fending the family. So dia boleh just duduk je rumah, you know. Dan 5 anak ni semua with the husband yang of course so supportive semua tu, parenting would be easier kan. And of course dia tak risau masa dia punya business ke apa. Then the husband died. You know, it's just macam contohnya, I don't know, it might be a sudden death contohnya kan, dia tak anticipate that one. So what happened is that, like all of us, kita being thrown out of kita punya comfort zone. Tak ada dah comfort zone tu. Husband dia dah tak ada contohnya kan. So, dia nak take up the responsibility as a father, as a, you know, CEO yang inherit the business ke. Itu semua choice dia. Dia boleh saja, you know, run away from that. By how? By being depressed. Itu minta maaf nak kata ya, depression, anxiety, semua tu is actually your defense mechanism. Kan? So you kata, oh, I tak boleh nak handle this, I'm not made up for this, I'm depressed. And then okay, I need to see my therapist semua tu. Okay lah, so orang kata tak payahlah dia ni. You know, so you are not showing up. Okay. Maknanya benda tu mungkin, kalau misalnya doktor ni, in medical, there's 6 months of normal grief. So within that 6 months, if you are, you know, ding-dong and you would like to retreat sekejap, okay je. Sebabnya dalam Islam pun kita ada that 4 bulan 10 hari untuk wanita berkabung. Lelaki tak ada. Yang perempuan ada. So I think when you talk about this, you know, sudden loss of husband and father of your children tu, I mean you ada 4 months, 10 hari tu for other family members to look after you. Kan? Tapi lepas tu macam mana? Lepas tu you nak show up ke? Atau you nak terus depressed, atau tak boleh nak bangun tidur, you know, and then you need medication, anak-anak you pun orang lain kena jaga, kan, macam tu. Or worse, maknanya you feel, you know, so bad, so life is useless and you attempt to kiranya most probably, end your life contohnya, kan. So that is actually a spiral down. You know, it's a vicious cycle. Tapi apa yang Naima tunjukkan kat sini is that we need to start showing up because that is actually where the virtuous cycle is going to start. Kan? Then, betul. But you need to take that first step lah. Okay? The first step. Balik pada tadi tu, we will always try to flight. Kita lari dulu. And then maybe bila dah tak boleh, macam kalau misalnya my analogy will always be the simple, you know, snake, reptile that is just, you know, being governed by this primitive brain kan, or any reptiles in that matter. Kita pijak ekor dia dan dia tak boleh lari, dia akan fight lah. Kan? Masa tu dia guna kalau dia punya fangs dia and everything. Tapi kalau you ni turtle, you tahu you tak boleh lari. Kan? And you feel that there's danger. So dia memang ada that, you know, that thick shell that is intended, cengkerang tu memang untuk dia punya protection kan, because they're so slow and kan, sluggish. So dia just masuk dalam tu. And I think by doing so, you are running away and you're not showing up. Orang tak nampak pun you tahu. Yang tinggal cengkerang tu je. And you can stay there as long as you wish. Kan? Tapi let me tell you and let me reiterate, maknanya benda tu sebenarnya is the beginning of your virtual cycle and we're actually going to be pulled down gitu. So apa Naima punya message, this is really a motivational message to me pada Dr. It need to highlight the fact that you need to escape your vulnerability tu in order to show up. Jadi Dr. Har cakap dalam yang hari Khamis baru ni, another, you know, you can you imagine this is a comfort zone. Kat luar tu is actually your fear zone, your vulnerability zone tadi tu. Kat luar tu, luar daripada tu, the third layer out tu is actually the learning zone. You know? And then baru the growth zone. So the fact that I don't buy all this book anymore, the self-growth and self-help, is about, I notice they are not addressing the comfort zone. and the fear zone and the learning zone tu. Learning okay lah, being an educator, I'm so immersed in learning kan. Tapi you see these 4 zones yang Tom Sinigan ni, dia based on ZPD or zone of proximal development by Vygotsky. So this one kalau misalnya kita yang teachers ni memang kena tahu ZPD ni. Tapi ZPD ni dia cakap pasal 3 zone, you know. The first zone is actually the zone yang budak-budak ni tak payah diajar pun dia tahu. You know, macam contohnya, of course for adult learners, they have a lot of experience yang they bring in into learning, okay? But there's another zone where they are not going to be able to do that without any knowledge and skill, you know? So yang ini dia takkan boleh buat sebab dia tak tahu langsung this zone. So in between that 2 zone is this zone of paroxysmal development where these learners can actually start to do apa yang dia tak boleh buat tu dengan adanya educators yang hold their hands. Satu, keduanya ada teknologi untuk mudahkan teaching learning methods so that they grasp the ni, and of course the attitude and the emotion that comes to it. So I pula I would always say bila I baca ZPD ni kan, there's something about it that keep on bouncing out my brain. I macam tak boleh nak internalize kan. So okay, so what? Because dia kata anak-anak murid kita kat dalam zone of proximal development ni. So macam mana kita nak bring them out of it? Kan ya, tapi Seninger ni dia this German actually based on that, because kini dia Russia lah so, I think so dia kata senang nak cerita, dia guna yang 4 zone ni, and I can this one I can relate to this. So I ketepikanlah ZPD tu, even that might be the precursor of this ni, sebabnya now I can explain things. I focus more on comfort zone, and I think the most difficult zone is actually that fear zone. You know, where you will decide whether you want to show up or you want to run away. Whether it's fight or is it flight. Kan? Jadi, and because kita ni manusia, Allah, itu yang membezakan kita dengan reptile tu. So, all that kiranya 4F yang dia bukan fight and flight saja. Dia ada juga feed, makan, dan dia ada juga fornication. Kan? Jadi sex tu. So dengan adanya our higher function executive brain that is now functioning in this pillow talk kan, kita tengah cakap ni and challenging it. So kita kena decide nak makan, bukannya makan apa saja kita pantai. Kita kena ada halalan tayyiban. Makanan tu kena baik, makanan tu bukan hanya baik tapi kena halal juga. Kita kena masak, kita kena goreng, kita kena rebus. That's actually your higher function kan ya. So the food becoming more edible and easier for you to process. It will not hurt your system. Macam tu lah. Okay. So the feed now from the primitive yang makan saja tu, it's now becoming epicurean kita panggil. Human ni dia epicurean, maknanya dia punya makanan tu such a big thing lah. Maknanya dia prepare, dia apa. Dia nak makan pun kena ada pinggan, ada apa semua kan. That's why fine dining tu is the highest of eating experience lah. Macam kita ni, Syiffa, kita telan apa yang lalu depan kita. So that's why agaknya, you know, this is a different way of doing that. Fornication pula, daripada just populate tengah-tengah padang ke dekat umur macam tu. Now for human, dia jadikan tu something yang sangat clandestine. Maknanya it's a private punya affair. You tak buat kat depan ni. Itu kan kalau kita just berzina kat rata-rata, you're just functioning at that primitive brain lah. So kita buat naik atas. Okay. Now, do we actually flight? Do we run away from our problem? No, that is what Naima is saying. We must show up. Maknanya kita tak lari. So we don't flight. And then of course, we don't fight for, you know, our territory ke macam tu, macam like the Komodo dragon is doing. Tapi kita collaborate. Instead of competing, which is actually fighting juga in a way, kita collaborate. So benda tu lah sebenarnya yang menjadikan kita ni ahsani takwim tadi tu. So to me, kalau Dr. Har boleh simpulkan, buku Showing Up and also macam Brené Brown punya Daring Greatly tu is addressing the fear zone tu. Okay? And the first step is actually showing up. Bila you choose to run away, that's it. I rasa I think perbincangan kita malam ni, kita bincang tentang tu lah, your choice, your take, and you don't blame people for it tau. I nak show up tapi I nak show up tapi yang ni gini dia orang ni. So I lagi je lah. Jangan.
Kan? Betul.
So as if you do not have a choice to show up. Tapi maknanya, and most of the people who are able to handle their punya hardship and tribulations are people who show up despite the vulnerability. They know they are not perfect, but they are showing up. And they don't run away. Kan? They don't just hide in that feel-good feeling, everything is okay, which is actually your comfort zone. You see, there is no comfort in, there is no growth in comfort zone, and there is no comfort in growth zone. I like that.
Ya.
Faham tak? Sama juga dia kata, there is no learning in comfort zone and there is no comfort in learning zone. So you better show up lah. Macam tu kan. Okay, ada orang dah start tanya ke? Sorry lah, malam ni I rasa macam dia macam berpintal-pintal sikit macam tu. So if any one of you feels this is, oh hold on, this is actually too confusing ke apa, you better ask. Tu kan ada kolom question tu kan. Hantarlah soalan. Kita boleh jawab insyaAllah. Kalau boleh kan ni Syiffa, kalau boleh insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah. Apa ni, bila kan Dr. Ha cakap kan, the first step, betul macam yang Sister Naima pun cakap, it's always about showing up. And then when I read the book, I do understand that to show up, actually benda yang pertama kita kena buat adalah we need to be sincere, jujur dengan diri kita kan. Sebab kalau kita tak jujur, like you are in that situation, you need to admit lah you are in that situation. You need to be sincere about your maybe your dreams, your life mission. If you're not being sincere, so how you want to achieve something or how you want to confront the thing. Sebab kita tak berlaku jujur kan? Tak berlaku jujur dengan diri kita ataupun dengan sekeliling kita.
Syiffa, okay. I don't sort of expect that bit on ikhlas atau sincerity tu. Okay? Maybe there is something I need to expand on. Cumanya, I realise that before you can be macam sincere tu semua tu, you need to know level of your self-awareness tu lah. And then you know your self-reflection. Then you know your strength and your weaknesses where you need to handle that. Maknanya yang strength tu jadikan dia, through our discipline and regulation, it become our super duper talent lah kan. Dan of course our mistake and shortcomings tu is actually for us to correct kan. Itu yang kita kata 3 segi self-acceptance tu. So bila self-acceptance tu pada I is the precursor yang bukan precursor lah, is actually pintu gerbang supaya kita ada self-appreciation, self-love, self-respect, self-mercy, self-kindness, self-compassion, self-worth, self-trust, semua self tu lah. Kan? And then lepas tu bila you dah clear tentang ni and you start to see your zone tadi tu, then you realize sebenarnya in order for you to face your fear straight in the eyes and showing up tu is by knowing what you have and what you have not. Maknanya what you are and what you are not. Yang interesting bila Dr. Har, I'll come back to that sincerity sekejap lagi. Dr. Har punya reference tu ada dia kata, of course kita kata life begins when the comfort zone ends. Itulah kan. So everybody is pushing their limits gitulah. Just make the jump gitulah dia kata kan. Kau takut sangat, just do it. Tapi this author dah tak ingat siapa tu lah. Tapi dia kata before you make the jump, especially kalau you ada dekat cliff yang kat bawah tu, you make a jump lah macam Pandalela Renongka dengan kawan-kawan dia yang buat jump dalam dia punya Olympics ke ataupun all the games kan. Before you make the jump later, you must make sure that you can swim. I kata, hold on, that bites. Sebabnya agaknya kita tak boleh juga make the jump, atau kita tak boleh, and this is one thing yang kita dah, there's no way we can push people to show up when they don't really know whether they can jump or they can run or they can face that. Maknanya kalau misalnya you tak ada self-awareness and you haven't sort of embark into discovering yourself, macam mana you nak show up Because kita punya primitive reflex kita akan kata, no, you are not going to survive this, you're going to die. Gitu. Tapi kalau you tahu you can swim, you can run, or you know yourself. So of course all those things that hinders you from showing up, you can actually handle that. Tapi kalau tak, tu yang all these small voices which is so highly critical of you tu is going to make you choose running away instead of showing up.
Betul.
Tentang sincerity tu Dr. Har, okay, just nak ni je. So maknanya mungkin sincerity tu lebih kepada jujur terhadap siapa kita sebenarnya. That is the sincerity kan. Dan begitu ramai antara kita sebenarnya tak jujur pun. Satu dia tak kenal diri dia. Sebab kita tak betul-betul seriously going into this embark of self-discovery ni. The concept of self-to-instill ni. So, ingat tak Dr. kata, kalau misalnya you tak betul-betul look into who you are, accept yourself, you are going to have another benchmark yang so, either so high that you cannot forever you tak boleh achieve, and then you get, self-hatred, self-loathing. So, you go pula into self-destruction. Kan? There's no way you're going to show up. Kan? Atau satu lagi, because you tak ada this sincere overview about yourself, and then you tengok macam, I ada semua lah, and jadi self-worship, self-admiration pula. Kat situ lah ada riak, tak ada takabur, tak asuk, apa lagi, sum'ah semua tu. And then you go into the direction of an antisocial behavior, which is narcissism kan. So dekat sini ni, how do I tie it up with showing up? This is overconfident. And then kat sini pula you become toxic because nak cakap macam mana? You show up too much. I don't know lah, tapi macam you ended up destroying other people juga. By being entitled and thinking that you should be above everybody macam tu kan. And that is actually how the antisocial behavior or the psychopath actually started off.
Yeah.
Kan? So
Betul.
maybe, sorry kalau dia maybe tak boleh kaitkan dengan showing up, but I would say those people yang tak ada empathy, because that is the main criteria for narcissism kan, dia tak ada empathy pun. So mungkin showing up tu pada dia is I have showed up. Apa orang lain tak kan? Kau punya pasal lah kau tak show up. Macam tu. Tapi to me that is not showing up yang Naima maksudkan lah. Sebab showing up yang Naima maksudkan ni to me is it actually branch out from a very deep-seated awareness of who you are. Kan? And of course kat situ tu yang you nampak tak dapat tidak memang kita Allah tu dengan pencipta kita tu. Kan? And that is actually why spiritual enhancement and development to become so important and priority. Otherwise we are going to have a very imbalanced life. Okay ke?
Yeah, that's true, betul. Dalam buku ni memang dia tak Sister Naima ni tak kupas lah pasal yang like narcissism yang macam Dr. Ha sampaikan. And I think it's a very good point. Because that is actually like kita tak sedar sebenarnya. I think this past few years lah kita baru didedahkan pasal narcissism, about self-love and everything. And I think it's a good point to put along with this topic. Sebab dalam buku Show Up by Naima Robert ni, dia di awalnya dia katakan macam we are not showing up for ourselves juga sebab we always macam sleepwalking, auto cruise, macam good. Follow je kan, follow je the flow, like what do you want, you ketepikan apa-apa keinginan you, apa-apa yang you rasa perlu untuk diri you. And she actually like branch out, showing up ni for yourself, for your relationship, for your children, and for your family, and for your dream. 5 ni, which is berkaitan tentang kehidupan seseorang tu lah kan. And I think it's a good thought juga bila kita align kan macam okay, apa yang Sister Naima cuba maksudkan adalah sebab especially perempuan lah kan, Dr. Ha. I don't know, I feel like in my position now, I feel like very grateful sebab saya dibesarkan oleh ibu, ayah, even my dad, yang macam, okay, what do you want in your life? Macam tu tau. What
Bagi
do
you
you want?
choice tu, bagi you that
Give you,
that
yes.
authority to decide. Okay.
Tapi saya juga tengok there are in surrounding, even in my family, kita perempuan kalau secara tradisionalnya, especially we are like very Asian punya nilai-nilai Asia kita ni, perempuan harus menunduk dan macam berkorban segala-galanya dan melupakan untuk family, untuk anak, and then dalam cerita ni lah Naima Robert katakan macam why should you when you actually can be more than that, when you are really showing up with your life. So macam contohnya kan, saya rasa macam tertarik sangat bila dia kata showing up for your children, about motherhood, especially for housewife, yang mana there are macam contoh yang saya ada kawan-kawan yang sebaya umur saya yang kiranya ada degree, ada master, but they decided to be stay at home mom kan.
Sure.
And then some people think that you're not showing up with your true potential katanya, sebab macam what for, your degree and everything, your hard work, your work experience before this kan. Tapi a good thing that Naima kupaskan kat sini, dia kata macam to show up, you have vision for yourself and your children. And I think Dr. Hab pernah kupaskan yang macam mana seorang perempuan tu kan, macam seorang wanita, seorang ibu, when they have vision about themselves and their children, it's like gonna shape the family and the future generation. It's very interesting. And
Wow. Okay. And habiskan dulu. I macam tengah nak, kepala I ni dah ketat dah nak cakap. Cerita dulu.
And then I want to ask lah Dr. Ha punya macam your thoughts, your experience about ni, berdasarkan Dr. Ha, sebab saya ambil input ni berdasarkan buku Naima Robert about showing up ni. Tapi I believe that Dr. Ha is like showing up in your life as well, because that is how macam like how you do it, like how you, saya rasa adakah Dr. Ha macam put a vision, what do you want macam with your children. Maybe you can share the templates pula, the tips the tips
Okay.
kan.
Alright. Selalunya I will write down things so that I don't miss it out. Tapi sekarang ni I'm not in that position pula nak write. So I just need. Okay. Firstly, when you're talking about sleepwalking tu kan, I baca juga masa I baca review buku dia tu kan. I think that's the word that she used about us being just doing things macam robot je lah. Okay. Now, I think I might be wrong lah. Tapi I recall Brené Brown, I tengah baca dia punya vulnerability armory. Maknanya macam what are the things you pakai, the mask and the armor, baju kebal tu yang protect you from being vulnerable. And then dia kata, dia keluarkan one of our armory tu is actually numbing. Numbing ni being numb, being kebas tu. I think sleepwalking is part of it, or is exactly that. Dia numbing maksudnya dia macam, tak kisahlah, buat je lah. You don't face it. Tadi lah, you don't show up. You don't macam sit down and think, okay, I must do something about it gitu kan. So I think that is kalau ikut Brené, that is the most effective protective mechanism lah to just not showing up. Maknanya you tak apalah, apa-apa je lah, macam ikut je lah gitu kan. So I think that is the sleepwalking in Naima punya book, but the one that I read is actually numbing, kebas. You don't feel pun kan. I lagi a few lah, macam you get disconnected. These are all, nanti biasalah kan baca tu kita underline, tapi because I tak intend nak bring it out, jadi I tak tengok balik semula. But I can easily recall numbing is one of it. So I think that is a mechanism bila you rasa tak apalah, I tak boleh buat choice kan. And then ikut je lah. And then you kata tadi the culture of kita, it's not just Asian gitu. Any culture that is more inclined towards collectivism than individualism, it will be like that. Apa orang kata dia kan dulukan, apa orang kata my you know my goal and what I want is not important. Other people is more important. That's why. And then bila kita dah tak happy, because you know, Maslow dia kata, you cannot have that self-actualization tau. And become happy if your potential is not met. Okay, you sebut tentang potensi tadi kan, yang dah ada degree apa semua tu. So you're asking me pula, sebelum tu pula, I rasa macam nak cakap pasal apa pula tadi yang you kata bila you tak show up ni, kan? Ya, ni macam ni. Bila yang kita ni pula, bila kita dah tadi collectivism tu, kita rasa tak suka orang yang individualism tu because they are so self-centered, kan? They just think about themselves. And that is one of the reason women agaknya tak nak achieve high in their profession because they feel they're selfish about me, gitu kan? It's about me, gitu kan? So it's always the family. Mana kalau saya macam I tak pedulikan anak-anak I. So dia guilt trip dia all the way. Okay, so dia maknanya dekat rumah dia ingat dia punya profession dia. I ni kan sepatutnya PhD belum macam ni. Kita bagi dia peluang dekat profession dia, dia duduk ingat rumah pula. So you're not here no there kan. So you tak boleh lah macam you know you and this is where Data pernah cakap tentang life balance. Because one of the life balance is actually priority balance. And if I want to ask answer your question yang kata macam dah tahan macam mana. Okay, first itulah ya. Malam actually has shaped me. It make us, not just me tau. I nampak my junior, my senior. We know what we want and we get for it. And that is most probably the kind yang Sri Putri bagi kat we all lah. Because kat Sri Putri tu bila semua budak perempuan tu, we can do anything we want. Kan? So kita tak ada being bonded by apa nanti budak lelaki cakap ke apa, tak ada dah. So and that actually build up kita punya karakter juga. And I think I can do this and I should do this. And most of our parents pula jenis yang gitu. Kalau tak agak ini dah hantar lagi kita kat sekolah perempuan semua ni. Ataupun dia tengok Asian, aku ni jadi makin ni kan. And bila cakap macam tu kan SPM baru ya, Khamis yang lalu kan. Actually Data punya SPM result keluar tahun 8, Data punya SPM 83, so resultnya keluar 84. So that's almost like 30 years ago kan. 40 years ago. And masa Data ada newspaper cutting tu, dia macam malas nak keluarkan tiap-tiap tahun kan, orang jemu pula. But that newspaper cutting was in Berita Harian. Harlina berazam membuktikan umat Islam boleh maju. Macam tu tau. So that was actually my determination. What I want sebenarnya kan. So having a woman with a vision tu is so important. And I do not want that vision to be I dah aim tu. So I punya doa. Itulah orang kata lah. Ya Allah, I know that I can make a man happy. So I know I want to be a wife, but instead of a husband who come in between me and my vision, so ya Allah, send me somebody who can be the one who support me for this vision. Faham tak maksudnya? So instead of antagonizing all my vision tu, send me somebody yang akan help me with this, just like how my father did kan. So he sent my husband. Until now never say no to me gitu kan. Then bila I kata bila I tahulah, I aware that kadang-kadang anak-anak ni menghambat lah. Masa tu I just start aware where women emancipation and empowerment, yang feminist ni always blame being a wife and being a mother ni yang akan derail you from achieving that woman of substance tu semua. Tapi I kata not if my children are actually my inspiration rather than again my hindrance. So ya Allah, masa tu lah dah nak lagi kan, but ya Allah, please give me that kind of children. But then I realised that these children will only grow up macam mana you parent them. So it's all within, macam mana ya, agaknya Syiffa yang Data nak kita semua yang dengar ni to remember is that you can actually determine and decide what is going to happen to your life, tapi by showing up lah. bukannya bagi kat orang lain and you retreat to your own ni, and just other people pula yang drive your vehicle around. Tak boleh macam tu kan. So tahap satu sebenarnya. So I set my vision and I go for it. Now that's another thing about this, you know, the tahap baru ni, I always feel that of course anatomy wise, brain lelaki dengan perempuan ni tak banyak reasonnya. Cuma mungkin berat sikit orang lelaki tu bukan sebab dia pandai lagi, tapi sebab dia punya tengkorak dia tu, ruang tengkorak kepala dia tu lagi besar. Kalau dia basically having a bigger build kan. So they have more space for the brain to grow, but that doesn't make them actually more intelligent, bukan gitu. Tapi we are being wired differently, you know, and kalau men dia punya wiring ni lebih macam fokus, buat, and dia tak get distracted sangat. Okay, and that's why they can actually achieve another level of, tu sebabnya kalau kata chef pun yang ni pun lelaki, kalau misalnya fashion designer pun lelaki, you know, because they are focused macam tu kan. Women bukan sebab kita ni lemah ke apa, kita tak fokus, we are intended lebih untuk tugas yang lain. So we have to do everything, tapi tak perlu pun nak jadi, you know, expert in that area. Janji boleh buat, okay. Which to me is not really that means that we are second class. Tidak. Tapi it has been my teachers punya observations. Malah pun my teachers orang cakap. And you know, brothers and sisters yang dalam konteks, you know, psychological development semua. Selalu kata, do you know that you have a male brain? So, okay, hold on. What do you mean? Doesn't make you a man? But one thing, you can focus and you can actually do it, and because of that, tahap boleh jadi starter, doer and finisher. And I don't have much guilt trip tau. And that is what guys have. Don't, that's why they are risk takers. Diorang tak banyak sangat dindong-dindong, and they will take risk. And then kalau tak berjalan pun tak apa, kita start lain gitu. Orang perempuan dia terbalik sikit lah. So agaknya, if you want to ask me again, I have been very much facilitated by Allah by having that male brain. Maknanya bila Dr. pergi kerja anak kecil-kecil tu, of course I sedih bila dia 4 tahun kan, Syiffa dia akan tarik kaki you tau. Bila nak pergi kerja, tarik kain. Oh Mi, jangan pergi kerja Mi kan, mainlah dengan macam tu Syiffa tu kan. And of course your heart breaks lah tu kan. Mulalah kata, ya Allah aku ni apalah macam tu contohnya. But I don't go there so much. So I just need to explain. Kata Umi, yang paling best tu adalah bila Umi sama dengan anak-anak dekat rumah dengan ayah ni. Best sangat-sangat. Memang best pun. I'm not lying, okay. Tapi I have to go because I'm a doctor and I have to see my patients and I cannot bring my patient home. So Umi kena pergi kerja. And then I think that's a very logical explanation. And now again, bila anak I tu dah settle, off I go. And I don't feel what a bad mother I am gitu, tak. Jadi so that is actually something that facilitate me to focus and deliver. Tapi nanti bila balik ke rumah, I tinggal ke lah I punya ONG specialist ke professor ke apa kat tempat kat luar pintu tu. Bila I masuk, I'm totally a mother. So and a wife. Kan? Jadi benda tu a part of life balance juga sebenarnya. And of course bila you start achieving, you get more self-confidence and you know, macam itulah. So I think that is actually how I juggle, you know, all this and decide that I need to show up. And of course bila kita tahu yang husband, anak-anak, they can be the main stumbling block because I really want to show up. I want them to be my platform pula, the one who really, you know, make me better. Maksudnya kalau tak nak buat apa-apa, my children becoming my motivation. Now, I have to make sure that the society is a better place for my children to grow. Kan? Dan masa tu tak ingat sangat. This is something yang mungkin before we go to the question agaknya kan, ni Syiffa. Tak pernah dalam masa dah jadi ketua wanita tu, in one of my ucapan dasar saja, Nak Rahman cakap, you know, kita kena ingat, because that is actually the mindset. Oh, I have to be at home for my children, you know. I have these children gitu. So, Dr. Har boleh lah dia jadi ketua wanita. Anak dia, masa tu I bawa dia 2 anak kan. Anak dia 2 je, I ada 8, I ada 10. I say, how can you think of that? You know, because I have 2 ni, I feel so responsible to make sure that this society outside my house Dia nak ada pengislahan dia ke arah kebaikan. Because bila Syiffa dengan Syamil nak I cannot raise them alone kan. So sisters yang ada 10 anak tu kan, you all patutnya jadi ketua wanita ni because you actually have more things at stake. Dia kata daripada I ada 2 je. Mana boleh cakap tak apa tak tahan 2 anak biarlah gitu. Tak, you tu yang ada 10 anak tu yang lagi banyak benda yang you nak kena look into. Patutnya you are here as ketua wanita, bukannya I. Bukannya yang anak yang ada 8 orang tu. Oh, masa tu kan dia macam, hey, hold on. This is tapi betul tak Syiffa? Betul tak Syiffa bila kita kata
that's true.
Kan? I ada 2 je kalau katalah seorang nak jadi drug addict, seorang nak jadi nauzubillah. Tapi ada 2 je. Dia yang 10 ni. Kan? Kalau kita, so you have to make sure. Excuse me. So I think that is actually the paradigm shift yang kita kena ada. So alhamdulillah. In summary, if you really realize how important it is for you to be where you need to be, especially when you have a vision, kan, and you know you have the capacity and potential to achieve that, you have no other choice but to show up. Tak ada choice but to show up. Ya. Okay, Syiffa ada soalan rasanya. Ada satu.
Okay. Ada soalan. Okay. Haras tanya, how to differentiate you overcome the comfort zones and know your limit?
Okay.
How to differentiate? Yeah.
I think Haras tanya ni lepas I kata before you jump, you must know you can swim.
Yeah.
Kan? The question ni Haras 154, I think most probably can be answered if you look back into our discussion when you're talking about this concept of self. You know, when you make, you know, your self-awareness by doing more self-reflection, then you know your strength and your weaknesses. Of course, that is not enough. Kita cakap pasal Johari window juga. We need other people, whom we trust to actually tell us what are our strengths. Because sometimes kita tak tahu pun the blind spot tu kan, ya. Jadi, so when you have all that, then you know your potential, tahu. You know your strength and your weaknesses, and then coming back to comfort zone ni, dia senang je kalau you tahu you are still in your comfort zone ke tak. When you feel uncomfortable, that is actually you are stepping out of your comfort zone. Apa you punya comfort zone? Okay lah, pergi kerja contohnya, pergi kerja so routineness. Comfort zone is where you feel safe, secured and confident because it is so routinized, you know nothing can go wrong lah gitu. Kan? Macam tu. Sebab you dah buat kerja tu tiap-tiap tahun gitu kan. Jadi saya selalu nampak lah ya. Katalah you dah dekat satu tempat kerja tu dah 10 tahun lah. So you macam boleh buat kerja you tu Syiffa pejam mata lah. You know like macam you know. Suddenly you kena tukar department, pergi somewhere else and do something new. Totally new. That is this you know 10 years benda you buat. Macam ni you rasa. That is Haras. Wherever you feel uncomfortable, wherever you feel feel vulnerable, whenever you feel you are afraid, whenever you feel you are so insecure that people will know that you do not know, itu your fear zone. Maknanya you are already outside of your comfort zone. I think I answered that question kan. Sebab soalan ni sampai kat situ je, kan? And that uncomfortable feeling tu lah yang buatkan you tak nak show up. Macam ni you tak show up, you run away. You run back to the ni. So Dr. Han mungkin nak ambil opportunity ni to actually highlight that you know why you are keep on ding dong balik kat comfort zone ni. I would put this as an analogy lah, you know, like there's a gravity in our comfort zone that pull you, you know, and make you get back to where you are or where you started. Ya? Jadi you might want okay lah lepas ni I nak step out of my comfort zone. Tapi the gravity is so strong, it get pulled. So you tak boleh lepas the atmosphere of the vulnerability and the fear zone tu. Ini kalau you bayangkan, you know, our world with the gravity and the atmosphere lah. So okay, if you want to launch yourself, I use the word deliberately, into the learning zone dulu ni belum growth zone lagi, baru learning zone. Kan, ya? You need to have a propeller, you need to have a rocket, you need to have, you know, yang macam kita nak launch NASA punya tu, those turbine kat bawah tu yang buzz yang bila dia start counting down, dia punya 10, 9, 8 buzz kan. So benda tu yang you kena ada in order for you to propel. That's how difficult it is. So Dr. Har, ni kalau kena cakap jugalah kan, this is actually what I'm teaching in my masterclass maknanya. I buat macam 4. So you imagine macam roket ni tu. So I selalu ada my slide kan, ada roket tu yang dekat NASA punya launching pad tu, dia ada yang angle yang nampak 4 dia punya tank tu, fuel tank yang kan akan propel dia tu kan. So bila dia ignite tu kan, bzzz, tu keluarlah kan dia punya api tu. So I pun nak propose ada 4. Satu is where you really need to know why you are here. Maknanya pemurnian matlamat hidup. Kan ya, inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mati lillahi rabbil alamin tu. Sebab itu je yang akan menjadikan yang nombor 1 ni, daya tujahan dah disebut. Daya tujahan pertama ni sangat kuat. Without this, you might not be able to have the other 3. Macam itulah. Ya. So kalau you are actually kata tak percaya in the presence of, in the existence of God, you are disadvantage. This fuel agaknya tak take off pun. Okay? So you keep on ding dong kat fear zone, dan jelah your whole life in this world is just facing your insecurity and running away and not showing up. Kan? And the worst scenario when you don't show up is actually when you retreat and you fly, you lari and get into addiction, drown all your worry by taking substances that alter your mind. And then lepas tu you actually now in the abyss and just spiral down. Itu the worst case scenario kan. Okay. Apa tadi daya tujuan pertama? Pemurnian matlamat hidup ni. Mesti ada vision hidup ni nak apa. Okay. Keduanya adalah ni yang self-acceptance. Which is the product of self-reflection and self-awareness. Yeah, so self-acceptance is so important. Now 2 ni pun tak cukup actually Syiffa. You kena ada yang ketiga. Ketiga ni adalah where you can actually deal with your expectation. Sebab expectation ni ada kaitan juga dengan you punya self-awareness and self-acceptance tu. You tahu, you tak kenal you siapa tadi yang Haras cakap tadi kan ya? Ataupun before you jump, make sure you can swim. Bila tak tahu, ni itulah benda. So your expectation so high and then you never meet your expectation, dah depress balik. Kan? Jadi so expectation is something we need to manage. And expectation is actually when expectation plus reality, that become your ambition and become your vision. Tapi kalau misalnya you punya expectation so unrealistic, tu namanya ngemat jenin tu.
Ngemat jenin.
You tak boleh propel yourself. Okay. And the 4th one, what we are talking about, I decided to put it there because I think this is the one yang buatkan you tak boleh escape this gravity, is because kita tidak decided to show up atau face kita punya vulnerability, kita punya aib, kita punya all those things yang kita rasa kita so exposed tu, emotional risk tu kan, which we are talking about today. So I think kalau mungkin yang daya tujuan pertama, kedua, ketiga tu mungkin banyak juga orang cakap, tapi vulnerability ni kita selalu tak nak cakap. And then we miss this kind of pillow talk, where we define showing up. Of course, maknanya Syiffa baca buku Show Up, Dr. Har baca buku Brené Brown. And we actually betul-betul lah jadi pillow book talk tu. Kan? Jadi, and betul lah macam bila Perdana Menteri kita kata, Malaysia Madani ni dia kena start dengan masyarakat membaca. Masyarakat yang informed. We definitely have our own internal regulator bila kita membaca ni. Kita nak tahu begitu kan. Dah pun sekarang macam kat YouTube kan banyak sangat orang compare Malaysia dengan other places. And these are people yang foreigners who have gone to other places and now they will always feel very surprised with Malaysia kan. Macam ni. I know lah diorang tu nak banyak follower lah. Macam orang Malaysia ni follow sangat lah kalau ada YouTuber yang tulis macam tu kan. Macam tu. Tapi kita mungkin boleh kena tahu kenapa. One of the reason is actually mungkin walau macam mana pun I think kita punya pendidikan, dia punya coverage, accessibility dia. So become more informed. Apa yang selalu kalau kat Indonesia tu ni, kata mereka ni tak pakai klakson ataupun dia punya horn tu kan. So kita senyap je atas jalan tu. Bila pakai horn tu memang betul-betul lah kau kena horn kan. And untuk kita rasa that is actually why horn is being, installed in our car is when we want to, it's really used. Bila ada emergency ke, you want to remind people ke, but if everybody keep to their lane and get reminded, tak payahlah pakai kan. So that is actually kemadanian itu. I see it that way. Agaknya kalau orang nak tengok Madani ni bosor macam tu, nak tahap pecahkan dia kepada benda yang kecil sikit. Satu, you are Madani, maknanya you are starting into your civilization track with her. You want today to be better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today. That's it. So you are definitely going to move forward. Kedua, when ilmu you tu yang menyuluh you, apa-apa you nak buat, you based on your ilmu. Okay? Of course ilmu kita pun kadang banyak, kadang sikit, kadang betul, kadang salah. Tapi because kecintaan para ilmuwan ni, orang yang mencintai ilmu ni, dia memang sangat cintakan ilmu dan mudah-mudahan Allah membimbing dia. Dan bila dia tahu sesuatu yang punya sebelum ni salah, orang yang ada ilmu dia tak susah untuk, discard yang ni, ambil yang ni. Faham tak maksud dia kan? Jadi itu sangat penting untuk kita boleh maju ke hadapan. So I think thanks Syiffa for the the topics. I think it's really, I hope we are. Itulah, tak tahu, tak ada pula interaction lain. Kan lagi soalan lain. Tak ada pun nampak pula tu.
Lepas tu macam laju juga hari ni. Orang masuk keluar. Ramai yang masuk. Lepas tu macam macam tu. Tapi kurang interaction today. I don't know. Mungkin
agaknya one of the reason that rasa tak banyak interaction ni, I think we are discussing a few gagasan yang besar sikit macam tu. Like people get over, especially macam Data kata, kalau macam you really look into the number of children and you're so concerned about your society, orang yang patut jadi ketua, patutnya jadi, ini adalah orang yang paling ramai anak dia lah, because dia yang paling banyak sekali at stake kan. yang dia punya tu as compared to macam tak tahan anak 3 ataupun yang ada 2 anak macam tu kan. Tapi kita punya biasa pemikiran, bagilah Dr. Har ke depan, dia anak dia 2 je, macam tu kan. So I think well, okay. Agaknya Syiffa boleh recap ke?
Okay, thank you Dr. Ha. Very interesting bila Dr. Ha bagi tahu pasal rocket with the 4 tujahan tu kan. Because also daripada buku ni dia kata so many of us suffer because bukan sebab kita lack of purpose, but we suffer because because of the inability to recognize the purpose and the meaning of our life, of our dreams. Yeah, that's it. Yes. So kena recognize dulu lah, and then do all the apa-apa yang Dr. Ha kita bincangkan tentang self-awareness, and then check and balance to know, to recognize your life purpose kan. Because if not, like macam tu je lah hidup kita, like nothing going on.
Syiffa, Dr. Hari, this one last before we end the next session ni kan. Any one of you yang tengah dengar Dr. Hari dengan Syiffa cakap ni, and you rasa malas, you rasa macam bored kan, nothing is happening in your life, apa semua tu, I think that you need to seriously think, either you have been showing up ke for all your challenges and stepping out of your comfort zone, atau you are there in your comfort zone. And macam, manusia ni dia bila macam itu je dia jadi bored. Comfort zone ni dia bukan comfortable yang macam comfort betul-betul tu. Dr. selalu bagi cerita ni kan, but I think there's still people who have not heard about this. Few years back when I was ketua wanita dalam NGO ni, we all actually collab dengan satu lagi NGO untuk meningkatkan taraf hidup the sex workers kat Kelurahan Haji Taib, supaya kita tak nak dia buat kerja-kerja tu kan. So kita equip lah, kita ada yang nak jadi penjual nasi lemak atau kuih, itu ada yang nak jadi tukang jahit, kita bagi a few choice lah ya. Satu lagi spa ataupun dia punya dia punya mengurut ke, nak jadi mak andam ke macam tu. And so kita provide all those skills, knowledge, bagi bantuan pula kan dengan dia punya gerai ke, dengan mesin jahit semua tu lah. And we think that they are going to be okay lah. After 6 months, when we actually get back to them, I think most of them, except for 1 or 2, has actually gone back into dia punya sex punya trait tu lah. And then bila kita tanya kenapa, dia kata susah lah. Dia kata nak dapat duit 100 tu pun orang bangun pukul 4 pagi, masak lah semua tu. Patut itulah laku ke tak laku tu yang manis lemak lah. Yang baju pun ni nak siapkan baju, nak dapat upah sikit tu pun kan. Saya satu malam 500 senang-senang je nak dapat. So that's why dia punya comfort zone is that dia punya profession dia tu yang senang je nak dapat 500 daripada dia step out of that and then kena pula macam ni, susah kan. So comfort zone tu is actually dia sangat itulah siapa yang rasa malas, tak bersemangat tu, I think you are too long in your comfort zone lah. Please lah, step out of it kan. Macam kita manusia dan mungkin malas, kita cerita sangat pasal malas kan. Laziness ni kalau you tengok perbincangan dia macam-macam, but the way I define it is actually, malas tu is actually when you feel okay lah dah ni and you tak ada daya nak keluar daripada your comfort zone tu. And step into your fear zone. Kita tengok orang yang Masya Allah tak duduk diam gitu kan. Ada je yang dia buat. Contohnya tu, you ingat dia suka ke tu? Tak. Tapi dia kata dia memang tak boleh hidup macam ni saja. Dia nak ubah dia punya tu. Kan. So that's why agaknya your life daripada dulu sampai sekarang macam itu je lah kan. Jadi because you have not made that decision to step out of your fear zone, to show up and look at the fear straight in the eyes. Ataupun macam yang Brené Brown kata, daring greatly. You pluck the courage, and of course that comes from Allah lah, yeah. So that soalan Haris tadi kan, how do you know that you have it kan? Well, the only way to know is actually to try lah. And then, kalau hari window tu ada satu lagi kan yang potential ataupun something yang you do not know about yourself and other people do not know as well. And for those people who always want to push their comfort zone punya boundaries, that is a very interesting window you need to explore because you do not know apa yang you tahu. Kan? Kalau pun yang tadi kan you jump without knowing whether you know how to swim or not. Of course lah, you bila masuk dalam tu you kena tak kapai-kapai lah, tapi well, I hope there is somebody down there who's going to actually help you. Kan, ya?
So, that's true.
Wallahu a'lam. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Ha. So, how will you show up? So, after this, how are you going to show up?
Yeah, make the decision dulu to show up. Make the decision
to show up, and how you're going to show up. Because, macam Dr. Ha cakap, dalam dunia ni, there are people yang macam they want challenges. They are very motivated with goals and vision. But there are also people yang macam nak avoid changes, nak avoid challenges, like choose the easiness. So which one are we? Which one are we kan? So we decide lah untuk show up or not. And to show up ni sebenarnya tak perlukan pun benda-benda besar. You know, to show up to your family, to your relationship itself. Like your personal relationship, I think some people macam tengok benda yang besar, but it starts with small things lah, like show up to your friendship, your family, your husband and wife relationship and everything, because all these things kan dia ada effort itulah effort tu yang kita kata show up tu kan. So I'm hoping that this pillow talk and book talk with Dr. Ha akan memberi manfaat kepada everyone. And if you want to know more about the book, you can read Show Up by Naima Robert. It's also suitable for men as well, ataupun Daring Greatly, is it?
Yes.
And Dr. Hassan
by Brené Brown.
By Brené Brown. Okay, ada orang bagi salam, kita kena jawab salam. Waalaikumsalam. Walaupun dah dekat habis dah.
Dr. Han nak tunjukkan buku tu, Sat? Ya,
boleh. Okay, apa ni, kawan-kawan, you have no question lagi kan? If not, we're gonna wrap up. Sementara tunggu Dr. Ha show the book. Okay, daring greatly. Okay. Nampak tak?
Brené Brown.
Brené Brown.
Dia
Okay.
Dr. Har kalau before Dr. Har beli buku, I will actually look out for them in their TED Talk. Ataupun,
Good.
and of course sekarang kalau author tu ada banyak buku, dia akan cakap TED Talk, a few TED Talk on buku-buku yang tertentu. But untuk Brené Brown ni, dia ada, you can decide whether, there is something about it. And to me, the exciting thing is rather than growing and becoming motivated to change, actually Brené Brown hit at the root of it about vulnerability, that actually the one which is preventing us from changing lah sebenarnya kan. Okay. Alright, insyaAllah kita jumpa lagi.
InsyaAllah. Okay, terima kasih. Okay, ada satu tu. Please do more book talk. Love this session. InsyaAllah. Kalau ni lepas tu mungkin Dr. Ha pula boleh suggest. And then I'm gonna read the book as well. Okay, insyaAllah.
Dr. Har ada buku yang baru kan? Buku berdua masih lebih baik. Okay, so dia punya key dalam buku ni punya tajuk adalah masih tu. Sebab adalah mungkin contoh ya, Syiffa, some dah give up dah nak kahwin ke after a few macam failure ke, ataupun tak ada, tak nampak macam tak ada rezeki ke. So you tak nak expose your vulnerability tu, you kata okay lah, I'm prepared to be single throughout my life gitu. So this book is trying to persuade, no, berdua tu masih lebih baik lagi. And then of course those people yang berdua yang rasa macam let's say I had enough of you, let's go our own way tu, this book is trying to persuade juga actually berdua tu masih lebih baik juga walau macam mana pun. Okay, for those yang mungkin dah pernah berdua and then sekarang tinggal sendiri, you lagilah ada experience of the both side of the world kan. So I think berdua tu masih lebih baik lagi lah sebab now you are more experienced and I think you can actually give yourself second chance. Ada seorang lagi ni, ada orang yang dia mungkin dah berdua tapi nak jadi bertiga, berempat, berlima pula ke kan, contohnya lah kan. So yang ini pun this book is trying to tell actually berdua tu masih lebih baik lagi whenever so this book is actually for everyone lah, bukan hanya untuk orang yang dah berkahwin sebenarnya. I don't know whether we should make I don't think so yang ni ni, but I leave it to you lah Syiffa untuk choose the book pula. Bukan nanti kalau Dr. Har yang choose buku Dr. Har, buku yang Dr. Har tu buku orang tua, faham tak? Okay.
No, ya, betul. Okay, it's good. InsyaAllah. Looking forward juga untuk baca. Saya baca buku ibu je lah dulu kan. InsyaAllah saya baca. Okay, terima kasih Dr. Ha. Have a good rest everyone. Assalamualaikum and jumpa insyaAllah bulan depan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay.